DJ, good morning. How are you, buddy?
Good morning. I'm doing well.
You took some lumps. I got to be honest with you. I was worried about you. That looked like a really physical football game.
It was. The defense played hard. They run to the ball and they hit. So it was pretty physical.
So, DJ, how do you pick up the pieces now? It's been so long since you guys have won a game. Just wonder what your state of mind is and how you prepare for the remaining 3 games on the schedule.
That's exactly. We just got to focus on the next 3 and then try to get a win somehow to shake this losing streak.
I'm curious, DJ, the mentality that the coaches showed. Did Thomas Brown tell you guys that he was going to go for it on 4th down? Did you know that on that the opening series of the game, you guys went for it on 4th down? Did you know going into the game that was the mentality?
Yeah, we just knew we was going to be aggressive and go after the defense. Got to fight aggression with aggression. That defense is very aggressive, and we had to be aggressive on offense, but we came up short.
That was the first series. On the second series, you carried the ball out of the backfield twice in a row.
Yeah.
And that seemed to be working. You didn't really go back to it too much. What was behind the thought process of getting you involved in the running game, and how surprised were you that you didn't go back to it?
Just to get me some touches, and then get some positive plays out of it. It felt pretty good to be back there just getting the ball handed to you.
You had 3 carries for 24 yards. That's 8 yards a carry. You had a long of 9. That is that's not. There's nothing to sneeze at there. I'm surprised they didn't run the ball to you more. And you caught 8 passes and you were targeted 8 times. It was another one of those games, including the one. It was like a wild pass, man. You reached up and caught that thing. It felt like a moment of insanity. It was like a really crazy play.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think I just saw a picture of it, but I mean, 3 for what you say, 24. I mean, that's pretty good.
3 for 24.
That's a good
great.
average, yeah.
And 8 receptions for 46 yards, and 8 targets, 8 catches. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's some pretty good overall stats, I would say.
So, yeah, would you want to be more involved in the running game? How does that work? Do you go to Thomas Brown in between games because you average more running the ball than you did on your receptions?
Nah, I'm still going to be one of the passes, but anything that's going to help us get a W with the positive plays that I bring.
It was hard to get the ball down the field. I know there was, a 29-yard reception by Odunze, and then I believe 26 yards by Allen, but that was it. I mean, it was just hard to get the ball down the field against those guys, probably because the quarterback seemed like he was under pressure pretty much from Jump Street.
Yeah, when they bring a lot of pressure like that, you got to be able to hold up and to try to get the ball pushed downfield. So when we hold up, we're going to push the ball down the field.
So Brian Flores is one of the best defensive coordinators in the NFL, and he just saw you guys not that long ago. How different was the defense in terms of looks, in terms of their approach, than it was the first time you played the Vikings?
They was playing a little bit more zone coverage. They didn't bring a lot of pressure, but when they brought the pressure, they was getting home, and we got to fix that.
Yeah, it's difficult when you have backups in, right? Braxton Jones couldn't play. That was late in the week. That was basically on the weekend where you found out that he was suffering through some concussion symptoms. You got 4 guys out, basically, if you count Brisker, who's on IR, with a concussion. It's just a difficult injury and one that is very uncertain. Were you surprised with Braxton and him coming and that kind of developing as the week went on?
Yeah. No, concussions is nothing to play with, and he ended up having one. Hope he gets better and be back out there soon.
So obviously, Karan Amagaji is getting a lot of attention this morning. He got a lot of attention last night because tough spot for a rookie third rounder to be in, making his first NFL start against that defense. DJ, in the huddle, how would you describe his readiness, his attention, and then how does he keep his confidence high when he had as tough of a game as he had?
In the huddle and everything, he seemed fine. You have to get an answer from the lineman if he was staying confident. He looked pretty confident out there to me. So, I mean, it's his first time going against defense like that. It's definitely tough.
And it was one of those deals where, I mean, the worst sequence in the game was when you guys scored the apparent touchdown, but it turned out that that Doug Kramer came in and neglected to check in with the official, and that really set you back. Then you get a play down to the 1 yard line again, and you're thinking this is going to work, and then there's a holding penalty on Amagaji, and it's like, oh my God, you end up settling for a field goal there. It just felt like a big moment in the game. You were about to have the deficit, and then all of a sudden, that kind of goes the wrong way.
Yeah, that sequence of events was not the best thing that we needed. We needed to keep that touchdown on the board, and I mean, you gotta learn from it. The line just Doug gotta check in.
Yeah.
Report, and then we can't have the holding call, so we can just punch it in like we did on the play before.
How would you describe the state of mind for Caleb Williams? He struggled a little bit last night. Certainly, the defense was as aggressive as we just has described, but he had begun to take some strides, and last night was a rough night for Caleb.
I think he was pretty confident. He never loses confidence, so they didn't get him twice with a few things, so that was progress.
Did you? I mean, I know he only was sacked twice, but he got hit a lot. Are you worried that he's getting hit too much? You know what I mean? Like, that's a lot of sacks over the course of a year.
Yeah. Because you never want to see your quarterback keep going down and the other team just getting free hits on him. And, I mean, you can't withstand that all season. But he has, and that's kudos to his toughness.
DJ, I wanted to ask you about, we talked about the Braxton Jones situation, and he reported symptoms as far as it was reported 6 days after playing the 49ers, and this can happen at any time, and you really applaud the Bears for doing their due diligence and protecting the football players. He was also the fourth player this year to have a concussion, to be treated for concussion symptoms and get into protocol. In your experience in the NFL as a veteran, is that a high number? Has it seemed higher this year? We're just curious from the outside looking in. The Bears are doing their due diligence. I just wonder how that feels to you or looks as in terms of compared to other seasons.
To me, it's pretty high. I mean, it's not uncommon for teams to have people with concussions if they're out there running into people at full speed and just helmets, which it says on the back don't do, but we do it anyway. And I mean, it wouldn't be uncommon for them to have hit concussions here and there.
When you look at the way things have been going, right? I mean, let's be honest about it. So you're now in an 8-game losing streak. It felt like almost flukish, some of the games you lost earlier in the year. Certainly the Washington game was insane to have it turn on you like that. And you've been, you were in an overtime game against Minnesota. You had a chance with the field goal against Green Bay. It just felt like this wasn't really going off the boil. But the last two outings, being on the road, trying to handle the weather and everything going on in San Francisco, and then you got a Minnesota team that has a lot to play for. How has this shifted during this losing streak? Are you concerned that it's no longer like close losses or bad luck? It seems like now it's turned into routes.
No. It's still, just got a game plan and be on the details better. Some of the games have been out of hand lately, and we just got to reel it back in and be how we was and just finish our games.
DJ, one of the odder stories post game was that Jalen Johnson being asked about, and Thomas Brown was asked about it as well, the C not being on his jersey as a captain, and it was noticeable. And Jalen Johnson said he didn't notice it. Thomas Brown had to address it. Would you notice if the C wasn't on your jersey? And is that the plausible explanation?
I don't know if you would notice it unless you really just study in your uniform. But it is like right there, and I think you would notice it. But if you locked in, like I know Jalen be locked in, he probably didn't notice it.
Do you do anything with that C? Do you like kiss the C? I am the captain. Is there any kind of ceremonial moment that you share with the thing, or do you just kind of know when you get your uniform on that it's there?
Last year I would acknowledge it, but this year it's like, dang, you gotta go out there and be the best player you can be because you got this in your chest. So when the game's coming down to crunch time, you got to be the person that go out there and can make plays.
As a captain, as a veteran in that locker room, how do you balance getting through the final 3 games and just getting to the end of the season with concern about the future and wondering about what the next step will be? A head coaching search has already begun. You know the realities of the NFL. Just wonder how much you are trying to balance that, preparing for the next game with wondering what's going on.
Really not worrying about what's coming next until the end of the year. And then right now it's just focusing on the next opponent, and that's Detroit coming here. And we got to figure out a way to beat them.
They're awful beat up. I mean, they're going to come here, and they've got a lot of injuries, and you're doesn't mean they're any less of a dangerous team. Their offense looks pretty good, but I'm just curious, how do you think things will be at Soldier Field? Will the crowd be with you guys? Are you concerned about the way people are dealing with this season? Do you think there'll be a lot of support? Do you think that it's going to be positive, or are you concerned about a lot of booing?
I know should be packed. They should come out and cheer us on regardless. I know there'll be some boos on and off, but they're still there to support us at the end of the day.
Last night was Monday Night Football, so obviously Troy Aikman weighs in on what he thinks the next coach of the Bears should be and how the offensive-minded guy makes sense. Just wonder from your perspective, what is the right fit? I know you're a wide receiver and running back. You're an offensive player. But when you look at whether the Bears should target guys who are offensive-minded head coaching candidates or guys who will maybe on the other side of the ball but might have head coaching experience, do you have anything to add to that conversation? Do you have any preference?
Offensive-minded coach would take it to the next level, but whoever comes in here just got to lead the men in the locker room in the direction of a winning streak.
Yeah, it's obviously Eberflus is gone, Shane Waldron's gone. Things are there's a certain amount of chaos and turmoil that goes along with changing coaches, and the first time the Bears have ever changed a coach in season. Now, here at the Score, definitely in the post-game shows, you get a lot of people really mad at the general manager, really wondering what he's doing and why he has his job. Caleb was asked during the week if he supported him, and he said, yeah, because I know that he's behind us and he wants to win. Are you aware of the criticism that's taking place with Ryan Poles, and what are your thoughts on him and the job he's doing?
Everybody's going to go after the people at the top that's making that decision for the next head coach. And, he's doing the best that he can with right now. So I know he's working hard, and he's talked to us about him wanting to get the right person in here to help turn this thing around, and I believe in him.
How did the season get so far off the tracks, and how hard is it to keep the mood upbeat, if it can be, in that locker room?
I think it comes down to us having that early bye week and then going to Washington and losing like we did, and then it just was a trickle-down effect.
Never recovered from that setback, never really got back into the point where you were playing confidently, or that one loss created a domino effect on the rest of the season?
I would say so, because we went out there, battled, and then like crazy things would happen. We have a block kick, or we go to overtime, and the things that all lined up back to back to back is like, dang, this is really like going the wrong way.
They said that on the broadcast. They said that I think Troy Aikman said that if you hadn't lost that Washington game, who knows? It might be a completely different season.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If we didn't lose or have that bye week early, we would still be, I think, rolling, and it'd be a different outcome right now.
How tough of a spot is Thomas Brown in, and is it all conceivable? Is it crazy, DJ, to wonder if he would be a better head coach on Sunday against the Lions if he were to return to the booth and the way things were when things were a little bit better offensively?
It might. That's an option. I think. Hopefully, if he could, he could see the game better and do his thing. But right now, he's definitely in a tough spot because everybody got fired and he got boosted up real quick. But I know he's attacking it with the mindset of he needs a win and we need a win. So I know he's going to get that done somehow, some way.
What do you feel you have to accomplish in the last few games? Are there any statistical things that you want to hit? Are there any, obviously you want to win. I'm just curious if you have any kind of goals that you wanted to hit this season that are still available to you.
Just finish out healthy. I'm not, and with a win, I'm not really too worried about this season's stats because of the streak that we're on, and we just need to be finding a way to get W's.
And now for the tough question, DJ. Did you say anything to Jalen Johnson about the fur coat that he wore indoors?
No, I didn't say anything to him, but I was laughing when I seen his picture.
Quite a look.
Great stuff. Hey, DJ, thanks a lot, man. I hope you're feeling okay physically.
Hang in there, DJ. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.